welcome to the discussion slash breakdown of the Revolution of the Daleks trailer. At last, we have a substantial look at this thing, and yeah, it's pretty much what we all thought it was. But I've got to say, I was quite surprised by the quality and how good this actually looked. I'm not getting my hopes up, but genuinely, I think this looks quite good for new era stuff. I'm obviously not getting my hopes up, but before we get into the trailer, did you know that only a small percentage of my audience is actually subscribed? So if you are new around here, please consider subscribing. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world to me if we could get there by the end of the year. So, getting into the trailer. So the trailer opens quite fittingly. This isn't going to be edited, by the way. So the trailer opens quite fittingly on the same prison that we saw the Doctor in. Last episode, we see her being accustomed to a new cell, where we see a bunch of alien races in different cells. I think this actually looks really quite creative and quite interesting. I love the idea of an alien prison and seeing all the races interact with each other. That's quite cool. I think I can see a stanza there somewhere, but yeah, that's quite cool. Then we get another shot of the Doctor looking quite lonely in the prison. As you can see there, she's looking all sort of longingly out the window. Kind of gave me some Princess Fiona vibes from Shrek for some reason. We see Jack at what appears to be either like a meeting between people or him meeting the companions for the first time. There's a line about you don't get to choose when the Doctor leaves you, and I thought that was a really nice line because it's true. You know, some companions don't get a goodbye, they just leave. So I thought that was a really nice way of doing it. Something I also love is the post-it notes on the TARDIS console here. I love the idea that they've sort of been using it as a base to try and figure out what's going on. I don't know whether we're going to see the characters from Timeless Children again, because obviously they came home in that ship as well, or whether they're just going to be forgotten. I don't know, but I mean, I guess we'll find out. Then we get a nice shot of the new Dalek, and yeah, it confirms that they're going to be defense drones, which is something that we all sort of expected, that they were going to be a man-made creation based off of the Daleks that existed at the end of Resolution, the remains of the Resolution Dalek. So that is quite cool, quite interesting, quite different, to be honest. Like, that's not a story we've seen before. Obviously, we've seen human Dalek hybrids, but we've never seen humans actively try and reverse engineer Daleks for their own purposes. So that is quite a cool idea, and it kind of explains the sort of human look to these Daleks, and like why they're sort of made to look like almost, they kind of give me weird Alexa vibes with their lights and stuff, which is kind of interesting. Then we get like this universe's Prime Minister, who seems to be a bit Margaret Thatcher-esque. I don't know whether anyone else picked up on that, but she sounds a bit like Margaret Thatcher, which I just thought was a funny little addition. We see a shot of what appears to be Dalek incubation chambers. So I don't know whether they're going to recover a mutant and have that like pilot all the Daleks, or whether this is on Skaro or something, but like that's quite interesting as well. This also confirms the return of Jack Robertson, something that was also pretty much confirmed and talked about quite a bit, quite regularly, up to the release of this, because we had that Instagram post. So it's cool to see him in this, and I like how he's kind of dreading the thought of seeing them again. I like the line about Jack being immortal. That's fun too, because I assumed that they tried to kill him and he just came back straight away, like Jack Robertson tried to kill him. Jack Robertson and Captain Jack facing off is going to be an interesting thing, but yeah. I think what we see next is a normal Dalek saucer, i.e. the Time War ones. I'm kind of disappointed that we don't get a new design for those, but at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of the Revolution Dalek design, so I think this is a fair compromise. But yeah, that ship looks very reminiscent of the ones in Stolen Earth Journey's End. We then get a brief interaction between Captain Jack and Yaz. I mean, this is probably two scenes cut together because they seem to be in different locations, but nonetheless, it's quite interesting to see. We then get to see these new Daleks flying and in red. So if I had to guess, I would say that their flying mode makes them red and their static on the ground mode makes them blue. That's my guess. That's why the colours change, is to denote whether they're... Then we get that shot that's very reminiscent of one that was leaked in October of 2019, You can see the Daleks shooting, and I like the red lasers that come out of them when they're in their red mode. I don't know whether the laser colours change depending on their mode, but we'll have to wait and see on that. We then get to see Jack Robertson again, where he's like sort of regretting seeing them again. We see another Dalek mutant. So I'm interested to see how these Dalek mutants factor in. Like, are they going to control the new ones, and is that where the Civil War thing comes in, with one faction being the newly assembled Daleks with the occasional mutant versus the entirely pure Dalek mutants who have stayed in the Skaro ones? So that's quite interesting. It's got some very resolution vibes with the sort of body snatching sort of element. Then we get a look at this really weird incubation chamber, which appears to be a Dalek squid incubation chamber of some variety. We get a fist bump between Graham and Ryan, which is obviously a nice touch. I think this will probably be one of their last stories, especially if they're having a fist bump in it. We get a shot of Yaz there. We get a nice shot of the Dalek gun and the squid and Jack shooting it. That's quite cool as well. And then we get a final shot of the Doctor saying there's people waiting for you. So judging by the lack of Doctor, I think the theory that she's not going to be in this a lot holds true, and this is probably going to be more of a Dr. Light story, which is an interesting thing. We haven't really had a Dalek Dr. Light story before, which is quite interesting. And they confirmed that it is New Year's Day, as I suspected. If it had been Christmas, it would have been sooner than this in terms of marketing and stuff. So yeah, New Year's Day, bit disappointed because it's the less convenient day for me, but at the same time, I kind of expected it because it's what the previous two sort of episodes have released on. So why change the habit of a lifetime, I guess? I mean, well, I personally think that the New Year's experiment has kind of not really worked in their favour, but I mean, that's just my opinion on that. But I mean, you know, we'll just see how that all pans out in terms of ratings and stuff. But yeah, I gotta be honest, like, I was quite impressed by the look of this. It sort of seems like Resolution amped up, and considering that Resolution was my favourite of the Series 11 episodes, that's a good sign. Like, the most I can hope for this is for it to be fun, and it seems to be heading more in that direction, which I appreciate. I kind of like the idea of humans manufacturing Daleks. It's just something we haven't seen before, and I think I appreciate them doing something new with that. But let me know what you guys think. I think I'm glad we got something substantial. I'm glad it was a minute as well, as opposed to maybe 30 seconds, which is what I predicted it would be. So I'm glad we got something a bit more substantial, because we really needed it by this point. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the trailer. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe. If you're new, please do subscribe. I've also got a Twitter and a Discord. If you want to go support those, you can. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.
Yeah!